I'm Todd Phillips, and welcome to episode 5 of What the Fork Am I Doing? Today, we are going to make up, I haven't tried this before, so this is going to be awesome. We are going to do jalapeno and bacon mac and cheese in bread balls. Oh yeah, it's happening. So, to get started, we're going to start with a couple of things that might take a little while and then kind of go back and forth on some of it. First off, bacon. I love bacon, but it takes a little while to cook. So we're going to throw a couple strips in and then get those started. At the same time, we got a pot going with hot water, and we're trying to bring that to a boil. And then we'll multitask. Alright, so we got some bacon here, and as we know, everyone loves bacon. Throw a few strips in. We'll get them nice and crispy, so we can, we'll start with 3 for now. We'll get them nice and crispy so that way we can crumble them up and they'll go nicely inside the mac and cheese. So we've got the water boiling, so now we need to actually cook the macaroni. This is a bag. What's cool about most pasta is it actually says on it how long to cook it. For this it says 9 to 11 minutes, so we're going to shoot for 10. You want to make sure you stir it every once in a while to make sure it doesn't burn or stick, but pretty simple, should be good to go. So we got fancy dancy egg timer. We'll set it for 10 minutes. At the same time, we're also going to turn the oven on to 350 and let that get preheated. You might want to also turn the bacon over, don't completely fry the one side. Remember, we do want it actually a bit crispy, or at least on the crispy side, so it'll crumple up real nicely for when we put it in the mac and cheese. Alright, so we got this bacon nice and good. Now it's good to put a couple paper towels down on your plate, soaks up that grease. I mean, grease is fun and all, but you don't necessarily need it. So we're going to get that nice, crispy, it'll be perfect. So when cooking bacon, you want to make sure that you also take care, because grease hurts and it boils and it burns and it's not fun. So make sure you use a kind of long distance tool and don't stick your hand inside it because that would hurt. Alright, pasta is done, so now we're going to make sure we take it off the heat. And do that, stir it up one more time, and then we are actually going to drain it. So make sure you have a strainer. Careful, because the water is actually still also hot. I'm going to pour this in, but not all the way. We still want some liquid in there. Things a little wet, but most of the water is out. And add it back into the pot. And we'll keep that while we do everything else, and then we'll add it to the main mix. Now we're going to add a little bit of a kick to our mac and cheese. So we're going to cut open the jalapenos. So you want to take the end off. There you go. And then go ahead and slice it down the center. That's fine. And then we want to make sure we take out all of this inside and seeds. You can use your fingers if you want. If you're careful with a knife, you can do that. Maybe a little bit of both. Look at that. And we're going to cut these in nice long strips. Probably want thinner. We want this to spread out in the mac and cheese, but it should be good. And you, if you wanted to, you could get like pre-cut jalapenos. That's fine too. I just felt like doing it fresh. Okay, that should be close. That's close enough. And then let's go ahead and cut these into nice bite-sized chunks and finish it up. Now we got to make the cheese sauce. So we're going to grab a saucepan, we're going to put that over the low heat, and we're just going to add everything one by one. We're going to add butter, we're going to melt that. I'm doing a double recipe, so I am doing a full stick of butter. So now that the butter is melted, because we have this over low heat, we are going to add the other ingredients. So we're going to add half a cup of flour. We're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Grind some pepper in there. You can just shake pepper if you just have that. We're going to do half a teaspoon of ground mustard. Not much, just enough. And half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Just kidding, it's called Worcestershire sauce. And it's delicious. Okay. And then we are going to mix all of this up. So you actually want to keep stirring it, keep it going. It's going to get a little bubbly, but you want everything to be a nice, smooth texture. So we're still on low heat, and then we'll just keep it there and just keep it mixing. So it's a little bubbly, but it's also nice and smooth. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Alright. We're going to remove it from heat. We're going to start with 2 cups of milk. Get that nice and smooth, and then we're going to add 2 more cups. Alright, so we're stirring that in, getting that going, and now we're going to actually put it back on the heat. So now that the milk mixture, I've been stirring this whole time, now that it's boiling, you can see it's getting nice and thick, so we want to just keep stirring it for a little bit longer, make sure it's a really nice, thick, but not burnt mixture. It does take a little time, a little patience, but it is oh so worth it. Alright, so it's nice, it's ready. We're going to add the cheese, nice and slow. Kind of make sure you get it all melted in there. A bunch. Well, a little messy, it's alright. Messy kitchen. Ooh, look at that, look at that. A lot of times when you're doing this, you don't have to make giant, grandiose gestures. You can do nice little things like this and just kind of watch it do its own work. Okay, so we're going to keep stirring that. Make sure that everything gets nice and melted in. Okay. Alright, now we're going to mix the two. Get that cheese in there with the macaroni. Look at all that cheese. That's a lot of cheese. Make sure you get it all covered, all nice and stirred up. Alright, now we need to pour the mac and cheese into a pan. Look at that. Get all that cheesy goodness out. Ooh, that's going to be tasty. Spread it out. Don't forget to add the jalapenos and add the bacon and get those all nice and mixed in there. You can do this before, or you can do this now, whatever works for you. Now stick the whole thing in the oven that's already preheated. Don't need to cover it or anything like that. Stick it in. I'll grab handy dandy egg timer. I'm going to set it for, let's do 25 minutes. Make sure it's done. So, we don't want to just make mac and cheese. We're going to go a little step beyond. And we are going to put them in bread rolls. So I'm going to show you how to cut them. And it's going to be delicious. Alright, so we're going to cut in. Don't go all the way down, but come close to it. And then cut a circle. Kind of determine how much bread to filling ratio you want. Figure it out. Maybe you want a little bit more mac and cheese. Maybe you want a little more bread. I don't know. It's up to you. I like bread. I like mac and cheese. Alright, so go all the way around. And then kind of get in there. Do a nice little twist. Nice and soft. Have that big chunk. And pour more out. So there you go. That's a nice bread bowl. So these don't actually also have to go to waste. Another good trick is if you make a spinach and artichoke dip or some sort of nice cheesy dip like that, cut these up into cubes and then use those for an appetizer. So we got the mac and cheese out. Ooh, looks and smells delicious. Let's spoon it in there. Our bread bowls we got all set. Ooh, I hope someone's hungry, because that looks delicious. And then let's sprinkle a little bit of that nice sharp cheddar. And then just for the touch, we're gonna add a couple pieces of bacon. And that should do it. That looks delicious. Well, that should do it. I'm Todd, and this has been another episode of What the Fork Am I Doing?